So I was 27 years old, making six figures in sales, and I thought I was having a heart attack. I was in a hospital bed, hooked up to machines, doctors running tests, and they told me my heart was failing. But the scariest part, I wasn't a 50-year-old with all these pre-existing conditions. I was young, I was 27, healthy, and somehow my body was shutting down. When they finally figured out what was going on, they did the angiogram, all these things, they realized it was inflammation, and it was caused by stress. And that's when it hit me. This job was gonna kill me. So I knew I needed to make a change. I wanted the same level of income, but I didn't want to give up things like benefits, especially now, given the circumstances, healthcare, 401k, all the things that come with the safety and security, or at least what I thought, of a 9-to-5 job. Eventually, I broke out and built not one, but two 7-figure businesses. And maybe you're in a position I was as well, maybe not as drastic of a situation or life and death, but you don't like your job and you realize that this isn't going to be the end-all career for you. And honestly, sales is fun. When you're on a roll, you're having a conversation, you're closing deals, like that feels good, but it's also a trap. And if you stay to the end of this video, I'll show you how I got out and how you could do something similar. And I really think this is one of the most important videos you could ever watch. If you're on the other side of this screen and you're a sales rep and you're like, damn, I know I don't want to do this forever. I could see the path I'm going down. So I didn't come from money at all. My first job was actually a headhunter or a recruiter, and I was making minimum wage against commission. So really anytime I made a sale, they just took it away for what they already paid me. And then I got my first promotion, which was enterprise sales, getting in with a great organization, or what I thought at the time. And they offered me a $40K base salary plus commission, and you would target around $60 to $70K a year. And this was like life-changing for me. This was way better than any other job I had ever had before. I was excited. And actually my first year, I had made about $110,000 when you're only supposed to make 70. So I really liked sales. You know, I thought it was a dream career. But there's that naive moment where you get in and you don't really see what's behind the scenes. It seems like a great deal up front. The facade is great, but actually it's much, much different. And if you're in sales, you know what I mean. You're constantly under pressure. Every single month, the scoreboard goes back to zero. Quota gets higher. Territories get wiped out. And you're really left scrambling. And even though you're making 100% of the money for the company, you're only getting 10 to 15%. And everybody else at the company, they have cushy jobs, they're doing their thing, they don't have any performance metrics, but you, every quarter, you're on the chopping block. And if you have one bad quarter, that could make or break your income, and you're vulnerable. And all the fun culture things go away, panic starts to set in, and in my case, ended up in a hospital bed. So when I was laying in that hospital, I was like, I cannot do this for the next 30 years. There's no way. I just thought about going back on Monday, what that's going to feel like, the pressure, slamming coffee just to like get through the day. And I knew I needed a way out, but the problem was I had no path. I had no alternative than what I was doing. And I didn't have some entrepreneurial background. So my thought process was you needed to invest a ton of money to a franchise, or you needed to have this brilliant strike of inspiration and create this new invention or a product. So I was like buying patent books and picking the brains of people who had owned franchises, seeing what the investment looked like, and it just felt impossible until I found something that made total sense. Instead of selling somebody else's product for 10%, I would be selling my own and taking 100% and having, most importantly, a reoccurring revenue model. And that is so, so key, because if you just sell products, you'd have to sell thousands of them per month, every single month, to keep that going. And it's just like the hamster wheel that you're on now with Quota. It resets every single month. So I knew I needed something with a reoccurring revenue model. I just hadn't quite discovered it yet. And it's funny that I didn't discover this sooner, because I was in the perfect position to figure this out, but I just didn't have the open mind at the time, until I went to the hospital, started asking questions, started thinking about my future, and really building an exit plan. So my job at the time, I was selling these social media packages, websites, SEO, blog posts, Facebook ads, to lawyers. And we were charging them anywhere from $2,500 to $5,500 per month for these very simple services. So I went to my manager, who at the time was like very much about their own quota, their own forecast. You know, they would always say things like, where are we at with my forecast? Are we going to hit this number? And they'd pressure you, stage these deals that you knew weren't going to close. And I just asked them, I said, hey, you know, if I went down to the fulfillment team and just kind of saw what they did on a day-to-day basis, I really feel like I would do better at my job, I would sell more, and it could be a great learning experience for me. And they said, that sounds amazing. Love the initiative. Go for it. So I went downstairs, sat with some of these people that ran the ads and, you know, ran the campaigns for these clients, and I realized they were spending like $50 in ad spend, setting up a campaign that took them about 10 minutes, letting it run for 30 days, and then just collecting a check every month. And that was the moment I was like, are you kidding me? I'm doing all this work, client relationship, closing the deals, and it's a set it and forget it style service. This is when I knew I had to start closing my own deals. So rather than doing something risky, rather than doing something that would have put my benefits in jeopardy or any of this kind of stuff, I started getting these clients on the side. Every business in the world needs more customers, they need more clients. So what this model is called is the LGA model, or a lead generation agency. Instead of you closing deals, you're just teeing up opportunities for their teams, generating leads, generating demand. And the service offering is incredibly simple and easy, but most business owners, they don't know how to do this stuff. And it's not just me. I'm not some wizard over here making entrepreneurial leaps and bounds. Other people are doing this as well. Like take Jonathan, one of my clients. He started out, gave himself about 6 months to really prove himself and say, hey, can I do this before quitting and leaving his 9-to-5 job? And then very, very quickly, he hit the 10K mark and was like, oh my God, what's the next level? And then he hit 15K, and then he hit 20K a month.
My business about 6 months ago, and since then I went from hitting $0 per month to 13K reoccurring revenue, and then last month I hit 20K for the first time, which was absolutely insane.
And now he's actually sold his apartment, he's traveling around the world, spending time in New York, spending time in California, like all over the place, him and his wife, and it's a beautiful thing. Now I'm making more money than I ever was in sales, and more importantly, I have the time freedom. If I need to take a break, I can just step outside, look at the mountains, breathe in the fresh air, and not be under that quota pressure every single month, every single day. Because if you're like me, I didn't want to even take PTO. I had time off, but would never take it because I was literally just counting the days when I needed to get back because I knew I was behind on quota. And the best part, I've never had a heart issue since. I've gone to many specialists, perfectly healthy. So the only thing I can equate to is that the stress and the pressure cooker that I was under every single day was eating me alive. And even if I made half of what I made back then, I would much rather work for myself to make my own dreams come true than work for somebody else to make theirs come true. So let me ask you this. How long are you willing to put yourself through this? Is it going to be another year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Just look at the people around you, the folks that are doing this for that amount of time, and simply ask yourself, do I want their lives? Is that where I want to end up? If the answer is no, you have a couple options. Number one, you can stay down the same path. You can keep doing what you're doing. Or number two, you can say, maybe I should start building an exit plan. Maybe I should have an exit strategy because this is just a job. It's not a long-term career for me. And the crazy thing is you have the skills right now as a sales rep to do exactly this, the same business model that I've been doing for many years. And if you made it this far, please like this video. This is a brand new channel. I've got other channels with millions of views, but I want to help sales reps leave that 9-to-5 rat race because I know there's somebody, at least one other person like me on the other side of the screen that is feeling like their job is this toxic environment and know that they're meant for more, know that they're only operating at a fraction of their potential. So if you want my help, you want to get results like myself, like Jonathan, I'm happy to book a call with you. I've dropped a link down below where there's a free training and an option to book a call if you want my help. But whatever you do, don't just sit there because if you're waiting for a better time, you might not get one. Life is short. You should be able to do what you want, live where you want, work where you want, And that's what this channel is all about. So drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and there's a video here that you can watch that tells more about my story. I'll see you guys in the next video.